What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is Batuhann. Batuhann! His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Loki. His name is Kenzi. Or Kenz. Probably Kenz is probably what he's got spaces. Kenz, Murphy. I don't know. I like Kenzi. Anyways, onwards and upwards, ladies and gentlemen. It's currently 1-0 for Batuhann, taking a pretty close game there against Kenzi's Ra. As whoop, cheeky crocodile getting involved. That's one low HP villager there. Almost losing that in the early stages of the game can be really, really bad. Anyways, we'll see how things are going to go here. We've got a pretty spicy matchup right now. We've got the Loki versus Odin. Loki versus Odin is difficult. It's difficult. Odin versus Loki is difficult. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But firstly, we are watching currently the Baldr's Betrayal group stages of the tournament. If you want to see more about Baldr's Betrayal, you can go head over to MetaPlays. It's got all of the bracket and everything, all the different streamers covering it. We've got people like AOL Iron Maiden, Nakamura, Danny, for fuck's sake. She's streaming. I think Hagrid might be involved in some way, shape, or form. But lots of exciting things to be seen, and the tournament after the group stages does go into a bit of a single elimination kind of shenanigans thing afterwards, which is very, very exciting. So onwards and upwards, let's talk about the matchup. So Loki here has got several different opportunities to win the game. So let's talk about all of those opportunities. So first opportunity is obviously to go for a Heimdall rush and just outright beat your opponent. It's very difficult because Odin actually has the advantage in the early game. However, Heimdall, if you go Heimdall and your opponent doesn't, then you have access to the Iron Heart. Not only that, if you get a myth unit spawn, that's going to give you an advantage in of itself. And that ends up being a thing. Beyond that, if you think about the other options that Loki has got that Odin doesn't, well, Loki does have a flaming weapons timing in his arsenal. Now, the question is this ever going to really be a threat to the Odin player? Answer is probably no, because most of the time the Odin player should be able to get to the heroic age by the time the Loki player gets to the heroic age. So you got a Frost to counter the flaming weapons. So then the next kind of port of call is, well, what's next? An answer normally is a Nidhogg timing with all the good stuff that can happen with that. And if the Odin can get to the Mythic Age themselves and click Ragnorak, then the Loki player has to defend that. So that's kind of the win condition for Odin, is to get to Ragnorak here. You can also win the early game if the Loki player plays into that. But yeah, the Mythic Age is kind of the very tense moment to see how that's all going to go. Now, Loki can actually defend against Rag if he does enough damage and is set up well enough. So we'll see how that's all going to go. But this is Marsh, and lots of food on the map and lots to be excited about. As you see Freya coming through for Batuhann and Forseti for Kenzi. So no surprises here, really. I mean, Heimdall we see a lot at the top level, but no real surprises here. So the relics getting dropped in. We've got the 100% hero damage versus myth unit relic, the Khopesh of Horus for Kenzi. And over here we don't see Batuhann picking up many relics. We do have the hardest folly here, extra 4 line of sight or something like this here. As the game continues along, a second relic being grabbed here. The Bridle of Pegasus is actually a huge relic to get for Loki. So now he's going to have a little bit of roleplay ability here, where he gets to roleplay a little bit like Odin, or half of Odin, and kind of do some good stuff. As the Valkyrie coming through here, bit of a forest fire onto this position, forcing the villagers off of this water buffalo for the time being here. This Valkyrie is going to be super annoying, as the Hearse are going to try and defend this one. No low HP villagers over there, as the Hearse are going to run around the Valkyrie, kind of baiting or debating just a little bit here, as that that forest fire, not going to do all too much here, but it does look like the Valkyrie will be meeting its demise, or just about. No, not about. 11 HP remaining. The troll too drunk here, not able to hit that Valkyrie on the way out, and it will be forever happy. As now we see Batuhann ready to start moving out. Now remember, the Odin does have the hunt advantage here. Gets a little bit more resources than Kenzi at this point in the game. If you actually take a look at the total resources here, if I hit this button, you can see that Batuhann has just a little bit more gold, a little bit more food, same wood right now. And the reasons for that are quite simple. He gathers food faster because of the hunt bonus. So Kenzi gonna move around and see if he can take out a villager, get a myth unit spawn or something. Meanwhile, over here getting pushed back, 62 population to 57 population. Both players spending their resources nice and fast here. As Kenzi's gonna retreat up to the top corner of the map for the time being. Over here, he's distracting with the rest of his units, but at this point, we're seeing mainly just Herso getting produced. As Hall of Thanes is going to be coming through as well for Kenzi to make his Herso look very, very scary. As the unit's going to move through here, run straight past those throwing axemen. Now, throwing axemen are normally a really good counter to the Herso, but if you can surround an enemy army with Herso and they've got throwing axe in it, those throwing axemen actually end up being a lot weaker. Because if you take a quick look, it's 100% bonus damage versus Norse heroes. So they're only doing like 9 damage per second compared to the Herso, which is doing 8.8 damage per second. So it's only a 0.2 difference. The Herso's got tons more HP than a throwing axeman. And so long as both units are attacking each other, the Herso will end up winning on those fights. So it's really important to get Hall of Thanes and dodge those throwing axes as you're jumping in and getting the damage done. So we're going to continue to see the harass coming through here as Batuhann is trying to defend as best as he can. Does manage to take down a Herso over here as this Herso going to be attempting to take down a villager. Gets a troll spawn here. That might be enough to finish off that villager, but it looks like he's not microing it, and it will end up falling this villager with 100% gone down. A little bit unfortunate there for Kenzi, but Batuhann gets away with it for the time being here. As Kenzi's still roaming around looking for something to do, and at this point, it's obvious what Batuhann wants. He's going to throw down an armory and attempt to go to the next age here. Happy to sit back, defend, get heroic age, get Scardy, and be in a good position here. As the Herso swing through, going to go after these villagers that are attempting to make a break for it. Get back to the home map here. We don't have Batuhann with her husbandry just yet, so those villagers on the pigs are a little bit sad, but the armory here might be getting denied. So long as it gets finished, it's completely fine here, but it looks like it might get denied. No, he's going to be attempting to retreat here. No problems where that's concerned, as we also see the arrows of the Alfar coming through for Kenzi. He's got now 3 relics in the bank, but Batuhann is going to be going to the heroic age here with a perfect timing. We're just below 10 minutes, 88 units created. The raiding cavalry getting some good damage done over here, almost able to take down one of these Herso. Will indeed do that, and then just retreats calmly and collectively away as another troll gets dealt with on the front here, as more Herso are going to be coming through. The question is, do we see a Bragi coming through for Kenzi? Answer, no. Armory coming up though. Villagers finishing up over here. Plenty of villagers on these pigs, and we do indeed have husbandry through for Kenzi. As the units come through here, going to get a couple of cheeky picks on the way out. Is this Herso going to be attempting to retreat through? And it will be able to stay survive. Have to pull that one all the way back home. Get a Valkyrie spawn here for Kenzi, as Batuhann is well on the way to the next age, and he's got plenty of resources in the bank. We'll see what his next movement is going to be, because he's being pushed off his home gold mine. He's no longer able to mine gold there, but he's actually already managed to get a whole bunch in on this position, as these Herso are going to be going after this longhouse over here, and there is a very real possibility this is going to be a difficult position for Batuhann to deal with. As the Herso do move in onto the position, we'll start going after these throwing axemen as best as they can. They do get a Valkyrie spawn here. That's going to be absolutely huge to deal with these throwing axemen, but Kenzi needs to get his units around here to do some real damage, but It's not happening just yet, as Batuhann has got plenty of dudes here, and he's going to be really happy. If I was Batuhann, I actually go for more of a wood-based approach right now, going in on Bogsviger, because Bogsviger actually get, little known fact, Bogsviger get a random bonus. Not a random, it's built in, but it's kind of random in the fact that why do they have it? A random bonus against every myth unit. Now, the big reason for Bogsviger was to have a counter unit against flying units, but for some reason, the developers, when they made Bogsviger, thought, you know what, Norse suck against myth units. Let's give them a unit to kill off every myth unit and also every other unit in the game. So it'll be a really, really good idea here for Batuhann to go for that. Throw up a hill fort here, start making Bogsviger, live the dream. Not only that, if you take a look at his base, he's got no hunt left or no food in his base, so jumping onto the wood line would be a very, very good idea, but not happening just yet. More longhouse coming up here for Kenzi. Is getting Bragi, storing up a second town center, and moving on in this game. As this troll here going to get frozen there, frozen to death. You see the cool little graphics from this mod. Is that troll looks not half bad. Not half bad at all. As the Hearse are going to be retreating back. Just a little bit. And Bragi does hit. But remember, Batuhann can't really do all too much with the Bragi. Or Kenzi can't do it too much with the Bragi because Batuhann has got Skadi. And that's a thing that he's going to have to deal with here. As the Toxote does get dealt with, the Valkyrie going to get picked off as well here, as the raiding cavalry going to swing in onto this position with the help of those throwing axemen to deal with this. Meanwhile, cheeky raid over here going after the villagers as the Herso moving in onto this position, going to have to pull that one back. As this gets dealt with, still more pressure over here, as it does look like the Frost Giant will be falling as a troll spawn does come in. As the Valkyrie gets pulled back just a little bit as well. Meanwhile, Batuhann getting closer and closer to being able to advance. Does he have a market? Yes, he does. Plenty of gold income as well, as he is also happily gathering food from the middle of the map here. He could sell the wood for gold and then buy that food to advance here if he wants to. He definitely is thinking about the Mythic Age and getting a very, very early Ragnorak here in this game, it would seem. But I feel like Batuhann is set up right now. He just needs to think, what are the ways I lose? Because he's got such a big advantage. If he just throws down some hill forts on a gold mine over here, on this gold mine, he's going to be in a really, really good position to defend against a big Ragnorak bush, especially if he gets out a whole bunch of throwing axemen and or Bogsviger to boot. And now Batuhann retreats back. The battle ball coming through. No Frost Giants whatsoever here for Batuhann. He has clicked up through Baldr, so he doesn't really need anything. He's going to have all of the Rag heroes, but definitely a little bit of a scary position here as Kenzi is moving in, going to be dropping dropping the flaming weapons here, and Frost does get utilized here as it's going to be trying to hold on to this position. And it does do so nicely, and Kenzi will have to retreat back. That's going to give Batuhann a little bit of time here as the Ursa are trying to take down every single one of these villages as best as they can. As these Ursa are really, really hoping for a little bit of a myth unit spawn on this position, as well as more Ursa coming through. Those throwing axes are not going to be too useful here as the units have to get pulled off here to defend this one. Villager count for Batuhann is 26 as he does a 139 population Ragnorak here in this game. Going to deal with all of those units here and with the help of the Fire Giant as well, help defend his main base. But the Hersa is already going straight after this one, getting so much damage done to this Fire Giant as it will end up getting taken out there. That's absolutely huge. The Frost Giant does get spawned for Kenzi, but it's probably going to get taken down. Still 132 of 115 population, but guess what? Batuhann is 100% all in. I mean, he's got a little bit of resources left over in these longhouses that he could cancel in order to build at least a dwarf. But he is as all in as it comes here. He needs to win with this army, and he needs to win now. And the big question is going to be, where is Kenzi going to go? And Kenzi is being sneaky, moving over onto this gold mine over here. as the unit's moving forward with Batuhann. Possibly just going to move straight in to the base here and just try and take out the town centers. But he needs to split up his army just a little bit, hit all the gold mines on the map. And we'll see if that's going to happen here. As meanwhile, we've got a longhouse being dropped on this position. Kenzi is at 107, 130 population, and he doesn't care. He just goes, no, let me clean this town center up. No more villagers for you. We're going to kill this first, deal with everything else later. As the throwing axeman going straight after those Hersa there, as the throwing axeman for Kenzi, while they do have heavy upgrades, going to get taken down very, very fast. Town center will go down. Imagine sending a handful of units over onto this gold mine would not go astray here. As the unit's coming up onto this location as well. Happily mining wood over there, splitting up off of all those gold mines as well. As the units come in, going to slowly take down these ox carts. A handful of throwing axemen going to come over here as well. There's only 2 units over here for the time being as the villagers get pulled off. However, Kenzi will be dropping down to 0 town centers at 118 population, 100 population here, 115 at total with 100 remaining. As now the villagers are making a great dart for it all over the map. While this is going on, a beautiful play by Kenzi. He sends the battle boar in, takes the town center down. The houses can go down as well. Obviously now there is 0 way back for Kenzi. He is as all in as it gets. As now the throwing axeman here going to get picked off. It's still an issue for Kenzi as his army is kind of nowhere. His villagers over here jumping onto this gold mine. The Ravens kind of sitting idly by. Definitely should be thinking about using them as these villagers have been spotted. These villagers over here have been spotted as well, as those are mostly going to get taken out. The town center on this position going to be getting rebuilt as you see the units moving all across here as best as they possibly can. These villagers looking for somewhere to go as he's just like, yeah, let me just take this wood line. This is the one I want. Beautiful. Now Batuhann going to be losing the temple. Houses will go down as well. And these throwing axemen searching around all over the place trying to find the villagers and deal with them. But I mean, Batuhann's only lost like 15 population thus far. And while Kenzi is separating his army out nicely, he's still got a ways to go as we see this settlement going up. Hill forts getting dropped as well behind it. It might be a better idea to leave this town center on like 2700 HP and start the hill forts, finish those, and then get the town center, because this is going to spark Batuhann to come over here and deal with this immediately as he's still chasing these villagers down. Kenzi's still got 47 villagers remaining here. As the battle boar finishing up the pace here of Batuhann. He's definitely struggling to find exactly what he needs to do here. As the Pegasus for Kenzi is just checking out everything in the base, as the heroes of Ragnorak looking at this gold mine again, trying to find where the gold is. And right now Kenzi has found some gold. He likes mining. These villagers can also come over here and grab this gold mine if they so choose. As the units here for Batuhann are going to be thinking about taking this town center down. Meanwhile, Kenzi gets this town center up here, and he might be able to hold this. Make some Bogsviger. That's exactly what he's going to be doing. An attempt to hold this location. He's getting fortified town centers through as well to help hold this one. 100 population remaining for Batuhann, as Kenzi's still getting resources. He's got 32 on wood, 7 on gold. The throwing axemen immediately going after each other here as the Bogsviger continuing to train on this position. And it looks like Batuhann's army is very, very much hurting as the heroes of Ragnorak attempting to move in and take this town center. But now it's fortified town center. It's a completely different story. Meanwhile, we do see a handful of units find the villagers in the bottom corner over here as the throwing axemen dropping in and out of this hill fort. 100 HP remaining here as the hill fort not going to go down, and Batuhann has to tap out. Ragnorak not able to finish off a Loki here in this game, just not able to get there, as Kenzi shows how running all over the map is a really, really good tactic to use in order to find a surviving position. So as this is going to become more and more of a thing, the Odin player is going to have to utilize those Ravens a lot better to be scouting around the map, maybe taking 1 or 2 units to just continue to scout all of the resources on the map and find where the villagers go isn't a bad idea either. And definitely keeping an eye on those town centers in the middle is something to be aware of, because that allowed Kenzi back into this game to level this series 1-1. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.